Alexandra and Eastern Hills cricket, and I reckon Bremer Callington and Macclesfield was looking like the match of the round. Macclesfield 8 for 172 from their 45 overs, and Bremer Callington all out for 166 with 4 bowls to spare. So close to getting that win.
They were, and Macclesfield were well set up with Connor Moore, who was 54 not out, if you don't mind, and he batted down the order at number 7. So great effort there from Connor. Cameo performance at the end for them to get up to that 172 in their 45 overs. And in reply, Bremer Callington with bowling, it was a great performance there with Graydon Brand, Jake Bierenfels and Jonathan Fitzgerald, all with a couple of wickets each. But it was a pretty good score, a hard score to chase, 170. And Bremer Callington did a great job in the end and got so close, as you said, bowled out with 4 balls to spare on 166, so falling just 6 runs short there. And they were best served by Alfie Wenk in the middle order, who also was unbeaten on 39 with a great effort. But the innings set up with a good foundation there of Alex Ford with 26 and Jono Fitzgerald opening the batting with 25. But a good win for Macclesfield, and they've got 2 out of 2.
And Connor Moore, 3 for 32 off his 9 overs with the ball as well, if you don't mind. So best figures with the bat for Macclesfield and best figures with the ball as well. So a great game for him. Let's look to Harndorf and Lobethal, and it was a pretty easy win for Lobethal in this one. Harndorf 135 from their 45 overs, and Lobethal able to chase that down in the 27th over.
Yeah, Harndorf's a fairly young side, but they've got a kingpin in that team. The captain, Daniel Jenner, is having a great season, opening the batting, and I know we're only 2 games in, but Daniel Jenner really seeing the ball like a basketball, and he made 55 in that 135 in their 45 overs. And the best of the bowling come from William Zaddo, 6 overs, 4 for 14 in a great day out in Alexandra and Eastern Hills cricket. Lobethal chasing that total, didn't have too much trouble, 3 for 136, and they got the job done in the 27th over. Ben Matthews, 69 not out, so great to see him back to some form. Cricket's a funny game. You had a duck last week, 69 not out this week, so that's exceptional. That's how cricket goes, and an unbeaten by the veteran Sammy Graber, 22 not out, to push them up to that figure. Best of the bowlers, pretty tough to get a wicket against Lobethal. The favourites in AEH this season, 1 wicket shared apiece between Huxtable, Judd and Gore. So that was a pretty good win there for Lobethal over Harndorf.
All right, let's have a look at Strathalbyn and Nan. And, well, Nan can probably consider themselves a little bit unlucky. 182 from their 45 overs is a very solid score, but Strath able to chase that down with 8 overs to spare. So a very, very good showing from Strath, and Riley Tonkin and Nathan Pell leading the way, both with half centuries.
Yeah, Pell back to the Strathalbyn lineup this year, and he really does give them some depth, and they're going along very nicely, and tipped with Leons Creek and Lobethal to be up there in the top 4. Yeah, Nan got underway there and just struggling. They've lost 2 or 3 players this year, as we said last week, including Timmins. Luke Timmins, a great batsman, and missing him for 182. Geez, you wouldn't lose too many games making that first. Well made up from the young lad. Zach Llewellyn, of course, a household name out at Mypolonga in Murray Towns with his father, Kent Llewellyn. So a good 61 from him, 36 by Brad Christie, and the best of the Strath bowlers. Well, it's an unusual lineup for Strath. No Abbott's in there this year, but 2 wickets apiece to Braden Gator, Matt Harris and Nick Evenden. So they were chasing a pretty big total, Strath, and they got there pretty easy. As you said, Nathan Pillay, or Pell, whichever school you went to, he made 52, but it was Riley Tonkin, the former Langons Creek player, with 54 not out, batting at number 5, who just controlled the proceedings. And in the best of the bowling, it was Chad Harrop, showing his experience with 8 overs, 2 for 29, but a good win for Strathalbyn in a very high run-scoring match.
Woodside in our next match can count themselves a bit unlucky too. 162, not enough for them to win, as Langhorne Creek were able to chase that down with 3 overs to spare, and they were led very well by Wessel Van Wyck, who opened the batting and scored 62 runs, and that set them up very well for victory.
Yeah, certainly did. Woodside, as you said, batting first there, and they were well served by the veteran Dave Westcombe. He really is like a fine wine, this bloke. Just keeps getting better with age. And he equal top scored with Tommy Baldock, another one of their good players, 36 apiece, best of the bowlers. Was shared around. The crop duster, Daniel Crop, 4 for 29 from 9. And Troy Blackwell, 3 for 43 from 9. And those two are really travelling very nicely for the Creeks. And in reply to the Creeks, as you said, Wessel Van Wyck with 62 dominated proceedings. Jaden Mitchell-Moore, 33 not out, unbeaten. And the Creeks got the points, 5 for 163 with 3 overs to spare. And the best of the bowlers was all shared around. Reed Johns and Reed Harrison variety and Brad Collins all with single wickets. But the Creeks certainly favourites.
All right, so that's Alexandra and Eastern Hills for the weekend just gone. All right, Brucey, and very quickly, let's get some tips for this weekend because the action is resuming. Who's going to be on the winners list?
It is going to be a real big round 3. Harndorf play Bremer Callington, and that should be a close encounter. Langhorne Creek play Nan. The Creek should get the job done there. Loberthal and Strath, that'll be the match of the round. Loberthal should win that one. And Woodside play Macclesfield in an absolute beauty. I'm going to go the upset there, Woodside at home.
All right, the tips are in. Thank you, Brucey. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Dan. Bye.